hook. Imagine you need to send a personalized email to 10,000 customers. Are you going to write 10,000 lines of code? Of course not. That would take years. This is exactly the problem that loops were invented to solve, and once you understand them, you will wonder how you ever wrote code without them. Welcome back. In this video, you are going to learn everything you need to know about loops in Python. We are talking about while loops, for loops, how to control them with break and continue, how to nest them inside each other, and some real-world examples that will make all of this click. By the end of this video, you will be able to automate repetitive tasks with just a few lines of code. Let's get into it. Section 1. What is a loop and why do you need one? Think about any task you do over and over again. Maybe you check every item on a grocery list. Maybe you count down from 10 to 0. Maybe you go through every student in a class and print their grade. All of these are the same idea. You take one action and repeat it multiple times, possibly with slightly different data each time. In programming, a loop is a block of code that runs again and again until a certain condition is met. Without loops, you would have to copy and paste the same code over and over. That is not just annoying. It is a nightmare to fix when something goes wrong because you have to fix it in 100 different places. Loops solve this by letting you write the logic once and tell Python how many times to run it. This is one of the most fundamental ideas in all of programming, not just Python. Once you get comfortable with loops, your programs will go from basic scripts to genuinely useful tools. But there is more than one kind of loop in Python, and knowing which one to use is the key. So which loop should you reach for first? That is exactly what we are going to answer right now. Section 2. The while loop. The while loop is the simpler of the two main loop types. It keeps running as long as a condition is true. The moment that condition becomes false, the loop stops. Here is what it looks like. You write the word while, then a condition, then a colon. On the next lines, indented, you write the code you want to repeat. For example, imagine you want to print the numbers 1 through 5. You create a variable called count and set it to 1. Then you write while count is less than or equal to 5. Inside the loop, you print count, and then you add 1 to count. Python checks the condition, prints the number, adds 1, checks the condition again, and keeps going until count hits 6. At that point, the condition is false, and the loop ends. The most important thing to remember with while loops is that you must update whatever variable your condition depends on. If you forget to add 1 to count, the loop will run forever. This is called an infinite loop, and it will freeze your program. While loops are perfect when you do not know in advance how many times you need to repeat something. For example, keep asking a user for a password until they get it right. You do not know how many tries that will take, so a while loop is the natural fit. Now, what if you do know exactly how many times you want a loop? That brings us to an even more powerful tool. Section 3. The for loop. The for loop is Python's way of going through a collection of things one by one. It could be a list of names, a range of numbers, or even the letters in a word. Whatever it is, the for loop visits each item in order and runs your code on it. The syntax is clean and readable. You write for, then a variable name that represents each individual item, then in, then the collection you want to loop through, then a colon. For example, if you have a list of fruits, apple, banana, cherry, you can write a for loop that prints each one. Python automatically moves through the list, assigns each fruit to your variable one at a time, and runs the code inside. No need to track a counter manually. One of the most common things you will see paired with a for loop is the range function. Range lets you generate a sequence of numbers on the fly. If you write for I in range of 10, Python will loop through the numbers 0 through 9, that is 10 total iterations. You can also give range a start point, an end point, and even a step size. The for loop is cleaner than a while loop when you know your collection ahead of time. It is the go-to choice for processing lists, reading files, and working with any kind of dataset. But what if you want to stop a loop early, or skip certain iterations? Python gives you two powerful tools for exactly that. Section 4. Break and continue. Sometimes you do not want a loop to finish every single iteration. Maybe you are searching through a list for a specific item, and once you find it, there is no point checking the rest. That is what break is for. When Python hits a break statement inside a loop, it immediately exits the loop entirely and moves on to the next part of your program. For example, loop through a list of numbers. If you find the number 7, print "found it" and break. Python stops the moment it hits 7 without touching anything after it in the list. Continue works differently. Instead of stopping the whole loop, it just skips the rest of the current iteration and jumps to the next one. Imagine you want to print every number from 1 to 10, but you want to skip the number 5. Inside your loop, you write if the number equals 5, continue. Python skips 5 entirely and keeps going with 6, 7, 8, and so on. Break and continue give you surgical control over your loops. Use break to stop early. Use continue to skip over specific cases. Together, they make your loops flexible and efficient. Now imagine putting a loop inside another loop. That is where things get really interesting. Section 5. Nested loops and real-world examples. A nested loop is simply a loop inside another loop. The outer loop runs once, and for every single iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop runs all the way through. This is incredibly useful for working with grids, tables, or any kind of two-dimensional data. A classic example is printing a multiplication table. Your outer loop goes through rows 1 through 5. For each row, your inner loop goes through columns 1 through 5 and prints the product. The result is a neat grid of numbers, all generated with just a few lines of code. Real-world uses for loops include reading every line of a text file, sending a message to every user in a database, processing every pixel in an image, and checking every item in a shopping cart. Loops are everywhere. The key insight is this: whenever you catch yourself repeating the same action or copying and pasting code, that is your signal that a loop belongs there. Outro. You just covered the full picture of loops in Python. You learned why loops exist, how all loops keep running based on a condition, how for loops iterate through collections, how break and continue give you control, and how nested loops handle complex multidimensional problems. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people learning Python. Subscribe so you do not miss the next video, where we are diving into functions and how to organize your code like a professional. And drop a comment below with one question you still have about loops. I read every single comment and will answer yours. See you in the next one.